Greetings YouTube. Today I'll be looking at the Gerber Dime, a 12-tool multipliers. And it's a little camping symbol here, so I'm assuming they're aiming this at the camping market. And so it gives you a rundown on the back what this is. And this is a task which is a combination of Gerber.com and Fiskars. I like Fiskar stuff. They're good people. So here you go. It is not a very big tool, and this was the attraction because this tool belongs to my wife. In fact, she was generous enough to lend it to me today so I could do a review. It is a nice color. I quite like the colors on this. It's not your dulling old boring the same color on both sides. I kind of like that feature. So what kind of tools do you get? Well, the most obvious tool you get right here is a bottle opener. It also comes with a little split ring here, and I actually don't quite know why, because I think a split ring through the bottle opener would be far more effective because it's going to be a lot stronger than that right there. But that's just me. I think the split ring little loop they put in here was sort of redundant, but I wasn't consulted. Then we have a pair of tweezers, and these are actually reasonable tweezers. They're decent size. They're very much comparable to the type of tweezers that you can get with the Victorinox design, except they're slanted. Victorinox are squared off, so they're gonna. But you can still use these as flats because of that. But having the point on there can, I think, be useful. Sorry, I'm doing this with a camera in my way. Okay, there we go. That goes in there. On this side, we have, what do we have on this side? Okay, this side we have a package opener, and this is kind of interesting. This is designed for the purposes of opening up packages and such. It's also, I've tried it myself. It's quite useful for cleaning out underneath your fingernails. And this would be useful because in a office environment where you need to open up a package, this is going to be utterly innocuous. There is no one that's going to get upset if you pull this out to open a package up with. I think that's important sometimes. There are times when appeasing the people you have to work with is as important as achieving the task that you have at hand. So there we go for that tool. And then over here we have an actual knife. The knife is interesting. I quite like this shape. Frankly, I like to see this in a larger blade. I think it's quite nice. And it came out of the box with a usable, and it's not shaving sharp, but it came out usable. Relatively decent grind as far as evenness is concerned. And so I find that quite acceptable in a tool like this. And it's quite comfortable to use. And again, obviously for light-duty cutting tasks. And speaking of cutting tasks, here we have a pair of scissors. Now, you have to really kind of give it a lateral push because it wants to hit slightly. Not much. I mean, it'll still work. You hear that? But if you give it a little lateral push, you don't have that problem anymore. And they come together reasonably well. Obviously for light cutting, though in a pinch you could use these for removing stitches. And yes, I have used a pair of scissors from a Victorinox Super Tinkerer to remove stitches on someone. Field expedient modifications, as they say. Then you have this tool right here, which is a screwdriver, flathead, but you might be able to get this, squeeze it into a Phillips head if you wanted to try. I haven't tried it. And on this side, it's got single line of cutouts, and I think it's supposed to be a file. This side has got a double, and I've actually used this one on my fingernail. It does function, not what you'd call all that well, but it does function. It's just shy of being so short as is to be useless. I prefer the one on my Swiss tool, but that's me. I'm picky like that. This is really stiff. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, it's really stiff. I got it out earlier before I did this video, but I'm having a really hard time here. A testament to how stiff it is. There we go. Yeah, it's very stiff. And And there's something I can really do about that a whole lot. I'm afraid if I loosen up this too much, it might cause me problems. I guess I can give it a try. Let's have pivots on there. I might be able to give some improved action without crippling the thing. But that's just a standard screwdriver. So, but it's a generous size. I mean, you can do a lot of different screws with this thing. So I think I almost would have preferred if they slightly put a hollow grind on there to make it a little thinner at the edge. I think I might have almost been happier if they just left it a straight bar shape. But that's just me. I'm not really sure that would have damaged the. But we're all here for the fact that these are pliers. So here we go, folks. They're pliers, and one of the things you're gonna notice, they have springs. I quite like that. I freely admit that. You got wire cutters inside there. This is for gripping larger objects. The two jaws are nicely paralleled, and then at the tip it comes together to meet. So you can grab small objects, you can grip larger objects, you can grip nuts or round objects with this, and you can cut light wire with this. And again, this is all for light duty tasks, but it's going to be far better than using your fingers, I can guarantee you that. And because of this shape right here with this bottle opener, which again, multi-tools have to have bottle openers for some mysterious reason, but because of that, see how that sits in my hand? I find that quite comfortable. I really do. I find that really quite comfortable. And of course, if you need to do it like this, it's still quite comfortable because it's right in there in the meat of your hand, and you're not having to deal with this short segment here. You get that nice curve right there. So while I think the bottle openers being ubiquitous in multi-tools is just baffling, in this particular instance, it's serving a purpose. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll put up with it. So there you go, folks. That is the Gerber dime. Reasonably priced. We got this for $23 retail. My wife gets a discount, so she paid less than that. So that was awesome. So even at full price, it's not bad. It's not bad. $23 for a multi-tool, and the kind of thing you can easily drop into a bag or hang off your keychain, or even hang it off a backpack, with a small carabiner or something, to have it readily available when you need it. And it's going to be, again, this is light duty. I prefer to have, for example, my multi-tool on me, and if I were going camping, I would have all the gear I normally carry on me. I would have a small fixed blade, something in probably the Kershaw Antelope 2, and then a larger blade, probably the Camp 10 or the Camp 14. That's just me. I like to be prepared. But for your day-to-day tasks, and your average person is looking for a small multi-tool that can meet a lot of different everyday tasks in an urban environment, I think this is excellent. I don't think it's really aimed at camping. That's my opinion. Gerber may have a different view of that. I think it's much more appropriate to simple urban tasks. So what do you think? You think that this is suitable for camping, or do you think it fits into the urban environment more appropriately?